to this matter. Okay, first question will be, what do we consider as family in the African culture? And I will start with you, Reverend Papa Ni August.
The family system within the African context is way different from what we now know it to be.
Okay.
It is not nuclear. It is communal.
Okay. Broader.
What you might sometimes call the extended family.
Okay.
Because it includes everybody who is related by blood. And so you find that when we are talking not just in the narrow sense.
Okay.
So when people are writing about the African traditional society, they tend to say that because I am, we are.
Okay.
And because we are, I am.
Okay.
That's the communal spirit that underpins the
African culture.
The African sense of family.
Okay.
Because I am, we are. Because we are, I also am. That captures it adequately.
Okay. And that basically, if you will, works in a cohesive family setting. What happens where you see disintegration in the family, so to speak? Because in this sense, you're not talking just about the nucleus family, husband, wife, children, but we're talking uncles, aunties, cousins, grandmother, grandfather on all sides. Okay. If it is cohesive and working, what you're talking about can hold. I mean, because we are, I am. And because I am, we are. Okay. That is for a cohesive, united family. Okay. What about when it is disintegrated due to confusion, contention, or what have you? What happens?
Sometimes there's very little you can do with modernity. It will come.
Okay.
But you should apply the principles of the family unity.
Okay.
Should apply the principles of the family unity.
We need to learn those principles today.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We need to learn what is. Take me, I'm a Ga. What makes the Ga family cohere?
Okay.
So we have the Weku.
Okay. That's family.
That's the family. And then we have the head of the family. And when there are small issues, then the father, the mother can handle. When they get too big, then we go and see the old man.
Okay.
We go and see the old lady.
Okay.
So that's how the system works. Graduates gradually till somebody who is wiser helps us to still find a solution which still makes the family cohere.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, so what's your take on this African culture and the family? Is it?
Yeah, with just like Daddy was saying, if we take the extended family, you can see that there are lots of advantages. You know, when there are crises, we can call or fall on other people, and you can see that we are also not in one area. Everybody has his own gifts in that extended family.
Okay.
So where the need be, then we can fall on one person or somebody to really help. Maybe we want a family is hard up with finances to send a brilliant child to school. When it's extended and we really value that, we can get somebody, all of us coming together to pay for the school fees of the child.
Okay.
When we are going for funerals, we all come together, we pay whatever, and then we really give a very befitting burial.
Okay.
But when this is not, then it tends to be something else.
What do you think is changing this beautiful scenario that you've painted? I mean, the family united and they'll be able to put their heads together, support the needy children to school and stuff like that, which is hardly lacking within settings of our families in Africa. Let's narrow it to Ghana now. We have many young people who could go to school, but they're out there walking on the street, not knowing what to do and stuff like that. Okay, what do you think is changing or inhibiting this brilliant picture from being fronted as it were, for the family culture should be?
Yeah, I feel it's education.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people feel that, I have really struggled to get there.
Okay.
So let me be.
Okay.
I have a husband, I have my children, so why don't I focus on them?
On your children.
When I was struggling,
Mm-hmm.
you were just, messing up or something. So I don't see why I should really
So come
struggle.
and support you.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see, so that is also bringing about selfishness in the family setup,
Okay.
which is also not good. As Christians, we are all one.
Mm-hmm.
So if my brother is in need, why wouldn't I help? If my sister is in need, why wouldn't I help? But that kind of individualism,
Mm-hmm.
I really want my people or my children to be there.
Okay.
And then we look down on the others.
Mm.
That is what is killing us.
Okay.
But if we all think that as a family, if the Anand's family are moving, everybody is there.
Okay.
Not pulling anybody down. We all move. But these days, the economic situation and all that, that is what is drawing this kind of situation.
I think there are several factors more beyond the economic situation, and then also probably the mindset and then the outlook. Okay, for instance, you gave an interesting scenario where you thought, okay, somebody in the same family, probably maybe siblings, one person is focused, hardworking, and diligent, pursuing their dreams, and then they get therefore to attain a particular social standing, whilst another sibling is fooling around, probably using his money to do all kinds of stuff. And it gets to a time when he or she lands into big trouble. That requires your assistance as a family. And you find it difficult to do because you thought, well, you could have done better for yourself. You didn't. Now I'm not going to help you. Does it make you evil? Does it make you on what, how do you call it? Not family characteristics in the African culture?
Yeah, just like we said, this is a Christian program.
Okay.
So we hope a lot of Christians are listening, and non-Christians are also listening. But when we come to the Christian setup,
Okay.
your brother is your brother.
Okay. Your sister is your sister.
Exactly. So if I see that my sister's child, because of whatever that she was not able to do, the child is going to suffer, I wouldn't sit down.
Okay.
I would want to come in to help. And that is how the spirit should really go. We really do not have to let go the past. Well, she could have done it, but now she's on your feet. So that alone is demeaning enough.
Okay.
Because you should be able to take care of your child, not me. But if you didn't do it, for Christ's sake, I will do it. So that we will all, we'll put the girl or the child at the level that he or she needs.
Can I say that this is better, easier said than done?
Yeah, Christianity is love. That is how we need to portray the love.
Well, we can talk about it, but is it being practiced, or is our concept or ideas of life today changing this to make us really live in that positive light of Christian values?
Yeah, I think apart from the selfish attitude of people and the not wanting people to really also get there, that is what is causing the problem now.
Okay.
But it's not easy. But the moment we pray to God and we start working at it, it will work.
Okay.
And it should work.
Okay. So we're looking to hear people's comments on what we're discussing so far, because if we look intricately into the African families, or if you will, the Ghanaian families today, all manner of factors are at play. There's hatred, there's envy, there's jealousy, there's contention because there's fight over family property and all that kind of, which is disintegrating the families. And then there's this individualistic position as well of those who probably think, well, I've strived, I've worked hard, I've accomplished something for myself, I want this to be for my family, and that kind of stuff. All of this are at play within. But however, on the ledge of what we're talking about, this is a Christian program, so we want to find out what is the godly model family that we need to make it stand today, you understand, to change all this pattern that we're experiencing. We'll come to you, Reverend Papani, on that one.
Right from creation,
Okay.
at the dawn of creation, God set the standard.
Okay.
So the first human institution God created was the institution of the home.
Okay.
He called it the Eden,
Okay.
or paradise.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the concept God created.
Mm-hmm.
And Eden itself in the Hebrew means a delightful place.
That's right.
It means a protected place.
Mm-hmm.
It means a healthy place.
Mm-hmm.
And there, from Genesis 2:8, he said, God put man there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the concept we should draw.
Okay.
We should draw from. That when I'm building my home, that is the pattern.
Okay.
It should be a healthy place
Mm-hmm.
for the family to grow.
Okay.
It should be a protected place for the children to grow in, to have the values.
Mm-hmm.
It should be what God says. It should be delightful,
Mm-hmm.
giving the emotional health that people need.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't get that concept well,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to go our own path, we'll get it wrong.
Okay.
And then there will be the street children, there will be all the other things that are hindering us right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to see children lining up on the street,
Mm.
and you feel like asking, where are their parents?
Yeah.
But they have parents.
They do, yeah.
They have parents.
Mm.
So what happened to the family cohesion that we are talking about, that God envisioned for us when he said he blessed them
Mm.
and said, increase, multiply, dominate, and fill the earth? What happened to that mandate that he gave to us
Okay.
right from the beginning? That's where we have to channel our energies and strength
Okay.
for us to find really what went wrong. Where did we go wrong?
Okay.
Of course, it went wrong from Genesis 3 when the human system got mad.
Okay. Because Adam
Because
and
of
Eve
the
leading to
the sin of disobedience.
Okay.
But we can always go back to it and say that, Lord, we've got it all wrong.
Mhm.
We ask for forgiveness. Take us on the right path, and it
Okay.
will work.
So today's family, and I'm going to stand on where you just stopped. Today's family, does it recognize that we have gotten it wrong and something is amiss within the family setting? Because if you will, the general African culture is more communal than nucleus. We need to look broader, but it is kind of disintegrated a bit, and we've seen the results of streetism and all manner of immoral lifestyle and the divisions within the African family setting. Do we know that we have got it wrong and therefore we need to get it right, and we're willing to follow? What principles do we need to follow in order to get it right?
Yeah. Just like Daddy said once again, this institution was really done or came about by God.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And as a Christian, whatever God has given, he has given us the principles. He never brought us here and left us just like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He has given us instructions.
Okay.
So his word, when you go into his word, you know he has all the rules, all the principles. The man should be the head.
Okay.
You, the woman, you are a helpmate.
Mm-hmm.
You have to leave your house.
Okay.
Cleave with your husband.
Together.
And become one flesh. You know, so all these are principles. Are we leaving?
Mm-hmm.
Are we cleaving? Are we becoming one flesh?
Okay.
So when we see that all these things are not being done, then you see the disintegration.
Okay.
But if we go into the word and follow the principles, marriage or the family setup will be the most interesting, where we'll get our peace, our needs will be met, there will be joy. I mean, everything that God really wanted the marriage or the family to be, we'll get it.
Okay.
But we miss it when we do not get back to the Bible.
Okay.
If you just feel that, no, I can do it, I found my wife, and you know, but I use money to really do whatever. Yes. So I am going to instruct my wife to do this, or I want my family to do that. No, is that what the Bible is saying? If you use your own wisdom, you will miss it. But let us go back to the Bible, because that is where the first family was instituted.
Okay.
And he gave them everything. So if we need something, why don't we go into the Bible?
Go back to the word.
Yes, you go to the word and you will see it and you feel, yeah, I'm going to follow this. And these principles, they work. if you are serious with God's word. If you are not serious with God's word, then that is where the streetism will come in.
Okay.
People will not, no, I have given birth to a child. Why wouldn't I take care? But this is a gift.
Yeah.
From God. Knowing that it's a gift from God, you will treasure it. But if you feel that, no, I just had my whatever and the child has come, he can
fend for himself.
Exactly. But that is not what the word is saying. There are principles that we need to follow. There are values.
Okay. Can we talk about some of those principles? Can we share a few with our listeners? I mean, for every family probably that sees traces of the disintegration, that is leading to all kinds of disharmony and disunity and its negative effect, what can we tell them? What can we share from the word? I mean, you talk about going back to the Bible and what the scripture says. Can we share some of those principles with them?
Yeah, the few that can I.
Yes, please go ahead.
When we go into Ephesians 5, we have what the heading is telling us, that the spirit-guided relationships.
Okay.
We have the wife and we have the husband. If you look at 25, it says, for husbands, this means love your wife. Now, if you love your wife, what are you going to do to hurt her? If you sincerely and with the love that God is talking about, the agape love that he's talking about, you will love your wife unconditionally. It got to a time my husband just told me, anytime I'm trying to go off, he'll come, so
I like him already.
Exactly. So the moment he starts singing or just coming up with stuff like that, then I get, alert.
Then you come to your senses.
To my senses, and he really will correct you in love.
Wow.
There is no way he'll be shouting or screaming or trying to tell you that you are nothing.
Wow.
Or you have really made a grievous
mistake. Okay.
So that really,
you married an angel then.
Oh, no, it's not an angel. It's not an angel at all. But it is the word that is bringing
trust me,
us
this is unheard of. In most, trust me,
sure.
we can trace
It's
back
true.
and forth.
If
you, from where I sit, probably from where you sit as well, as a family life coach and stuff. I know you've heard stuff.
Exactly.
That doesn't compare anything to what you've had as a wife and a woman.
Yeah.
So you know that God gave you a special gift.
Which I'm so happy with that.
We thank God.
Sure.
We thank God. Okay, so he uses love to correct you because he knows that you are part of him.
Yes.
And therefore he has no option but to love you, and therefore even if he has to correct you, it has to be with love and not with violence or aggression or what have you. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. Any more of the principles?
That is the love. And then the wife will tell me, the wife is saying that you should submit to your husband as to the Lord. So if I have, education has really given us, broaden our scope.
Okay.
So whatever that I am saying, I have to back it with whatever that I have learned physically. So if I need to submit to my husband, that is what the word is saying.
The word says.
I will submit.
Okay.
If there is any decision that we need to take, the two of us will come together. I'll have to bring up my ideas. He will bring his on board, and then we weigh the two.
Okay.
It's not a matter of because I'm submitting, I'm down there, and then he's doing everything, and I should just be there and take his instructions. No, but if you submit, it also strengthens the love.
Okay.
That we're talking about, because I also need to love him.
True.
If he's loving me, I should love him too.
Yeah.
And then that brings about that submission,
Okay.
not the slave type.
Okay.
So that at least this principle of submitting and loving, which is killing a lot of families, these marriages these days, is causing a lot of havoc. But if we should take it as it is, we'll be able to do it. And even when we come to the children also have theirs.
They have
just like the rules that we are talking about.
Okay.
But these major principles, Adam really loved the wife.
Okay.
And then the wife also saw it. So when she got the food, said, no, let me put some down for my husband.
The man, his head was not correct. Well, let's come back to this submission thing.
Okay.
Most modern women, and we're talking about modernity affecting our family culture, and in this sense, we're talking about the godly model family. Most modern women don't think that submission to their husbands is important and must be done. And it's a source of major contentions in most families, because they think, well, I mean, we have the same education level. I probably make more money than him. I am more respected in even where I work more than him, blah, blah, blah. So they can submit, to the point where even basic household chores, which is meant to be done by the wife or the woman, they refuse to do, which has caused many. I know you probably have heard a lot.
Sure.
Why is this submission issue such a big deal for the average, or if you will, the modern woman? Why do you think it's such? I mean, I will ask you that because you're a woman. How is that? Why is this such a big issue that they're not willing to submit?
Just like you said, some of them might think that, I have gotten there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are just apart.
Socially,
so
academically, financially, yeah.
So why should I submit?
Mm-hmm.
When we talk of the submitting, it is not you being a slave to your husband.
Okay.
If you take it that way, then, I mean, we'll be able to move on. But if you think that, no, I need to submit, what are you submitting to?
Okay.
You are a married person.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband is there. What are you supposed to do? You need to cook. You need to keep the home. You need to do this. You need to do that. So what makes you, if you do that, you're not serving your husband.
Yeah.
So that is part of the submission. But when it comes where the man wants to bully the woman a little, that's no matter what, I have married you, that is where the problem comes in.
Because sadly, yes, of course, sadly, some men also take this submission thing a bit too extreme.
Exactly.
That where you to be suppose the woman becomes totally subservient to the existing marital relationship, which is wrong.
Very wrong.
Which is very wrong.
Very wrong.
Okay. So, Ogopapani, we'll find out.
I think that also it comes because we think of submission as we know it in the everyday sense.
Okay.
We are submitting because it's supposed lack of strength.
No, because God's word says so. Mm-hmm.
But submission in the Christian literature is a show of strength.
Wow.
I am so strong, I can submit to my husband and it costs me nothing.
Costs you nothing.
Because it's a show of strength when you say submit. And then men like to quote the Ephesians passage from Ephesians 22.
Yes.
But Ephesians 5:21 says, submit to each other.
Okay, yes.
Submit to each other.
That's right.
So if I submit to my wife, she submits to me. 1-1 draw.
You love me, I love you.
So what's the big deal?
Well, it's a love language. Sadly, many people don't realize it. Because, and love in itself, from God's own perspective, see how great and huge God is, yet he submitted himself to us. He didn't wait for us to repent or to change. The Bible says God commended his love towards us in that whilst we're yet sinners, Christ died for us. I mean, the very God, second person, the Trinity, submitted himself in love to us so that we can be saved. And he expects us to transmit that same thing into our marriage setting. But it's such a challenge. I just read a message on WhatsApp. Let me just go back to it in a minute. It says, submission is a problem now because some men try to suppress their women, so it makes them always defensive. You see that in your workout line?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe then we ought to do the premaritals more intensely.
Okay.
And focus on these things.
Okay.
So that nobody goes into the marriage thinking that, hey, I'm going to be the slave woman in the marriage.
In the marriage.
No.
Well, but that is if people submit themselves to the premarital counseling. Or, I mean, in fact, there are some people who are married already who probably didn't go through any counseling, or whatever counseling they had was very shallow, and therefore they were not prepared for all of these things. Their knowledge of the principles that undergird a godly family is non-existent. You understand? So how do we help those people? We've talked about submission. We've talked about walking in love, and all of those. Can we share a few more principles, Uncle Papani?
Sometimes we also talk about the same passage, Ephesians 5.
Okay.
33. It says, husbands, love your wife.
Okay.
Wife, respect your husband.
Mm-hmm.
So if those two alone are operating very well, if the wife and it's the husband who is supposed to love.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are loving and you are fulfilling her, it becomes very easy for her to respect you.
To respect you.
It becomes very easy for her to respect you. And if your wife respects you, you feel man enough
Okay.
to be able to say, oh, okay, today she's busy. Let me go to the kitchen and do the washing.
Okay.
And it doesn't take anything away from your
you.
role as head of the family.
Mm.
Doesn't take anything away from you as the head of the family.
Okay. But you know, this interesting scenario, husbands love your wife, wives respect your husband or submit to your husband. The contention we get there more often than not, and I know you probably were seeing it in your experience as counselors, that the man says, I can't love her until she learns to submit. And the woman says, I can't submit to him if I don't see him showing me love. And this is a big bane of contention. How do we handle this situation? For those families probably who are listening and there's that contention, there's no submission, no love. So constantly they're living like cat and dog. Okay? and it's not the most pleasant. And they know it too, but they wish they could change. However, their positioning has not changed regarding the principles that God laid out for marriage. How do you help them out, ma'am?
Yeah, what I feel is that the men should really learn how to really talk to or relate to the ladies, especially when it comes to working. You know, sometimes we all go to work. You pick me from my workplace. We all come home, and then you go to the hall, cross your legs, and then you start giving instructions. You know, stuff like that. But you should not come to the kitchen. But at least just take your time and then do whatever. Or you can have a time. Normally, what I tell my counselors is that pick a day. Looking at your schedule, your work schedule, pick a day, and then prepare all your dishes. You have a freezer. If God bless you to get a freezer, put them there. Today we are going to take, wache or whatever. So take your meat and everything, put it in the fridge. By the time you come, you marinate everything, leave them in the fridge. So by the time you come, the thing has thawed. So cooking will be simpler and will not take much of your time. So that at least we are all hungry, we all do the food and then we share. But when it comes where the man becomes that bossy, we are all tired and they're giving instructions, shouting, and not doing anything. That is where the woman feels that, no, what does he think he's doing?
Who does he think he is?
Who does he think he is? But when there is love, there wouldn't be that pressure. Just respect your wife. Agree that, oh, I'll wait. I wouldn't rush. And then when the food is ready, you bring it. Or I am going to take care of the children whilst you do the cooking. I am going to, help them with their homework.
Help the children with their homework and stuff.
So at least you are not relaxing. Whilst I am busy in the kitchen, you're also doing something else. And then together, we all finish everything. Whilst this is done, that is also done. And then we all come together.
It makes the submission and loving more workable.
Workable.
Okay, all right. Few messages on WhatsApp. One says, interference in people's marriages by family and friends also creates issues. Some men think leading means controlling. Therefore, they rather use the wrong approach, and that makes the woman defensive. It is very difficult with the mummy's boys who are so attached to their mothers, and this mother-in-law intend continue to control the marriage through their sons. Oh Lord. And then he added, some men are hard working at work, but very lazy at home. Okay, all right. So let me come to one question. Comparing the way families lived in the past and now, what would you say have changed? I mean, I know that both of you have lived a few generations longer than that. So compare how you saw families in the past and the present day families. What do you think have changed? Significant. Let's say maybe about four different.
A lot has changed. A lot has changed.
1, 2, 3, 4.
In the first place, marriages used to be arranged marriages.
Lord help me.
They used to be arranged marriages. So your parents looked at you, and they think you've got to the marriageable age.
Which would be usually around that time is how old will you be if you're a man?
If it's a man, you see, the thing is that they don't look so much as the age as with the skill you've learned, whether you can manage a home.
A home, okay.
So if they taught you how to go fishing, and they know you can now go on your own, they'll find you a wife. or if you are a lady and you've reached the point where they know that you can manage a home, and you are not going to be afraid if the man is not there.
Okay.
You'll be there alone with your child or your children, and you can still hang on.
Okay.
They'll give you a husband.
Okay.
So they used to be arranged marriages.
Whether you like the person or not.
Invariably, there are discussions. So whether those days obedience was number one. So
so even if you didn't like the woman or the man, you just go along with
you grow to love.
To love. Okay.
It's not you fall in love.
Okay.
Those days you grow to love.
If you pardon me if I ask you, was your marriage arranged as well?
My marriage was not arranged.
Lucky
My marriage was not arranged.
How did you escape it?
I didn't go through counseling.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But we've been married for 38 years.
Wow. Wow. Super.
So
Super.
so you can make it work.
Okay.
You can make it work.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that now people use feelings.
Okay.
Are falling in love.
Uh-huh.
And that's where some of the challenges start from.
Okay.
They start from the fact that if you don't allow me to marry, then I won't marry anybody at all.
Okay.
They give ultimatums.
Mm-hmm.
So we've left the period of the arranged marriages.
Okay.
We are now into falling in love.
Falling
I
in
found the
love.
one of my heart.
Okay.
I found the person I want to marry.
Which is all emotional.
Emotional.
Okay.
And they've left, sometimes they've left the Christian qualities like honesty, like
Integrity,
and
proper
all those
morals.
things.
Yeah.
They don't come in much now. I've fallen in love, and then I have my money. I can go ahead and marry.
Mm-hmm.
They don't listen to parents any longer.
Okay.
So those are some of the challenges.
Okay.
And therefore, even by the time they get to the counseling, they are in a hurry.
Okay.
They are in a hurry.
Why do you think? Why do you think they are? Why? What's the rush?
Well, again, the concept of being married for life or being married till death do us part, they can't still conceive it.
Okay.
They think that we marry till divorce has come.
Interesting. Okay, so beyond the arranged marriage, and then which is in comparison to today's generation, who are more prone or driven by their emotions and what have you, and therefore are not ready to actually concentrate on what they need to prepare them for a successful marriage, and therefore they always have a backup plan of when the marriage fails, we just move on and carry on our lives and stuff. What else has changed in the way families live then and now?
Now people don't marry within their own community.
Okay.
Because now the opportunity to travel far,
okay,
to study for longer.
Mm-hmm.
So the person finishes the first degree, second degree, and on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm. So
it is said that by 2070, most marriages will be mixed marriages.
Okay. So,
most marriages
because
will be
career is
because,
taking people,
yes, people are going
places.
further from home.
Okay.
Further and further from home.
So you're seeing more now, intermarriages, ethnic diversions,
so
and
the cohesion or what kept people together. I know your parents. Your parents know my parents.
Okay.
So it's difficult for us to hurt each other because the parents can easily step in.
Okay.
But now I met my wife in Bolgatanga.
Did you really?
I did.
Okay. Is she from that area?
No.
Okay.
She's from the eastern region. I'm from Greater Accra.
Okay. But you both met in Bolga.
We all met there.
In Bolga.
So the point is that we travel far.
Okay.
And some people have traveled far and gone abroad.
Okay.
And they are marrying from there. The culture differences. Sometimes it's the culture shock.
Okay.
We didn't do things like that in my area. And so some of these things all bring about that that thing where becoming one flesh becomes difficult.
It becomes a challenge. So we'll ask this question: where did we go wrong? Is modernization, as it were? Are we copying blindly from the Western world? You reckon?
Yeah, I think we are really copying blind. Modernization is fine.
Okay.
But whatever that was existing in the Western world is different. They have their own culture, and we have ours. So when we bring their culture, we try to bring their culture into ours. That is where the conflict comes in, because they are doing it because of something.
Okay.
And we are not doing it because of something. So if you are bringing it, then they will not really match.
Okay.
Yeah. For instance, this white wedding and all that. Marriage is marriage.
Okay.
We have the traditional, and then we have the solemnization. That is where we bring it to the church.
To the altar.
But it could be anything.
Okay.
So now, the competition has really come in.
Okay.
That, this one did this. I also want to do that. Now, this my friend is gone. So let me also go. Anytime a gentleman comes over, I also go. So normally I tell my counselors, are you people ready? I really line up all the duties, all the
responsibilities,
to them. Are you ready? It is not a birthday party that you go and organize yourself, playing and then come and enjoy. At the end of the day, when people leave, just the two of you.
That's right.
Are you going to accommodate him? All his faults, whatever.
Okay.
So that when you tell them all these things, then they really know, and then they sit up and know that marriage is not that kind of rosy thing that we are talking about.
Okay.
After that, you enter into job. Responsibility of the home.
Okay.
Maybe you are with your parents, there's a house help who is cooking and all, doing people cleaning for you, washing your stuff for you. Are you ready to do that? Because you will not have that.
Okay.
And that is where the conflict starts. Maybe your parents started. They didn't start from getting a washing machine.
Okay.
Your mother was washing.
Yeah.
Are you ready to be washing? Are you ready to be standing, to be cooking, and to be doing
but for the modern day woman, if a washing machine is there, why do they need to do physical hand wash and stuff like that?
Yeah, there will be the washing, but when it comes to even the washing machine, there is a problem.
Of course.
No, I have dumped them in the machine. Then they'll call the gentleman, go and remove them and hang them.
And hang them. Okay.
And the gentleman will also feel that, no, you have started washing. So you
complete the task.
Exactly. So we try to, I have done some, you to go and do some, which will not help. Take your role as God has given you. You keep the home as a wife. The man is the breadwinner.
Okay.
Let him come. You are also bringing some.
Yeah.
But together, don't let it be that your responsibility is there, your role is there. Stick to it, and then he will also stick to his. Yeah. When we do that, I don't think there will be much issues. But the controlling, some men do not know how to handle their wives. And the wives also, the way we talk, we talk to them as if we are talking to colleagues. They are our head. They are our men.
Okay.
We are friends, but we need to respect them as the way.
Okay. Fred says, good evening. We need to go back to the basics. Husbands loving their wives and wives respecting their husbands. This whole issue of I know my right and affirmative action where women who think they're educated fail to submit. We need to understand scripture as couples and the union and family will be beautiful. Okay, Fred, I think you got a solid point there. One more. Okay, one from I think the United States. Okay, let me. Oh boy, 1 second. Okay, ma'am, you keep on sending us pictures. Sorry, we can't read pictures. Okay, one from Joseph Ajiman says, "Good evening, Reverend. A great discussion. I think civilization is collapsing our marriages." Okay, interesting comments there. Do you reckon so? Civilization collapsing marriages?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
In what way? In what way? Joseph Ajiman, come back again. Okay, I need to get this. I mean, we cannot just make statements. We need to be able to support it with some factual evidences, if we could, so at least we can see how we can address the matter if it indeed impacting on marriages negatively. Ni from Awudome Estate says, good evening. I always listen to your program. Thank you for the great work you guys are doing. I have tried to introduce this program to my wife, but as of now, currently, she's watching a telenovela instead of listening to good advice for marriage. God help us. Okay, listen, I don't know. Okay, I think we'll have some messages on Facebook as well. Okay, on Facebook, Gabriel New to Anchor says, very interesting topic. Family is everything. The foundation is a very strong, the foundation for a very strong society. Richie Nilaye, teachers teaching teachers. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, maybe we have a few minutes. If somebody probably want to join us on the discussion, to call, you can call 0302216541. It feels every now and then it feels like the 1 hour is not enough. But let's look at this. I mean, as we applaud on looking at the family now, are we doing the following things right? Like corporal punishment in terms of disciplining the children, bringing them upright as God's word to train up the child in the way they should go, spare the rod and spoil the child. Are we doing it right or wrong now? And then, of course, family meal at the table today is, I don't know. And then also family prayer time. What do you think, whether modern family is doing these things or not?
With the corporal punishment, just like you have said.
Okay.
You know, we can't be wiser than God.
Okay.
Just like you have said. When we go to Proverbs, it's telling us we should spare the rod and spoil the child. This is wisdom.
Okay.
So if a child misbehaves, let the child know that he has misbehaved.
Okay.
Just one spank for the child to know. A little hurt will move the child. Because they say that with the heart, there's
foolishness is in the heart of a child. The rod of correction will take it away.
Exactly. And it is not like beating the child to hurt.
Okay.
To correct.
To correct.
So you are not going to hurt the child. But at least the rod, sometimes you take the rod and the child will know that, yeah, I'm doing something wrong.
Okay.
You know? So if we take it away, I don't know the society in which we are going to stay. Okay. Because even with there was something on the Facebook somewhere. Okay. And the child reported the parent that the parent spanked her and called the police. The policeman came and he said, "What is it?" He said, "My mother spanked me." He said, "What did you do?" Then she said it. Then the policeman said, "If I were your mom, I would have beaten you more. So next time, just don't do that."
Don't do it.
You
okay.
know? So we really need to let the children know that they have erred. Okay. And we correct. Okay. So at least if the child knows that I have done this and my mom has beaten me, next time he will not go to it. Okay. With the child, maybe he will do another wrong thing, and then you come back to really correct. Okay. Parenting is not an easy thing. And if you really want your child to get back your child, then you really need to correct your child, you know, in love as well. Okay. Not to just let her be doing whatever that he wants or she wants.
Okay. Family prayer time meal at the table. Is this something that's still working or is being thrown out of the window?
Some of it has been thrown out of the window.
The prayer, I guess, and then the family meal time together.
I try to insist that everybody will do the quiet time.
Okay. Individually or as a family?
At the beginning of the year, I might buy the devotional material. Okay. I buy about 5 and then I distribute.
Okay. For all your children?
For all the children.
And this for you to be able to pray together or for you to do it individually?
You see, all of us are created unique. Okay. So you might do the quiet time as a family, but you allow everybody also to
be able to find their private time with God. Okay.
To find their own level. Okay. So it's by the time they leave, you know, there's a certain age which they call the critical age. Okay. In the growing up period between 14 and then 24. Okay. It's called the critical age.
Why is it called the critical age?
Because by 14 they are reaching the
puberty.
The puberty, not the puberty so much, but they are reaching the point of SS1.
Okay. Okay.
It's around SS1. Now, if you haven't given them the right training, by the time they leave home and they are in the boarding house, what are they going to stand on to be able to make those decisions? Okay. And it is the choices that they make when they are away from home. Okay. That is what creates it. So that's where by the time they finish the SHS, SSS,
go on to university,
and then go to the university, and they've already picked the bad habits, it's going to carry on.
Becomes a problem.
It's going to carry on. As I told you, we started our lives from Bolgatanga, and we learned from the guinea fowl.
Okay.
The guinea fowl is not very easy to domesticate.
Not at all.
So when the young ones come, they just keep on cutting the wings.
Okay.
So that it will learn to stay.
Okay.
That's the thing.
That's the discipline.
That's the same technique for children.
Okay.
When they are young, it is easy to
manage them, to train them and manage them.
When they get out of control, but between the critical age, the 14 and 24, you've lost them.
Okay.
You've lost them.
We lost them. I wish we had more time, but our time is up. We need to close this. Probably maybe 2 seconds each to share closing comment before we wrap up today. 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think we really need to, as a family, we really need to come together. Husbands, understand your wives.
Okay.
Your wife, and then the wife should also understand the husband. We don't have to be the master and pupil kind of relationship. We really need to live in a very good and cordial atmosphere. No controlling, no stress, because already there's so much stress in the system. But when we come home, we need to get that kind of love that is expected from a husband. And then we, as wives, we also need to come together, understand them, and do our chores. Serve them. When we serve them, we are serving ourselves too.
That's right. Okay. Uncle Papa.
Change is not going to stop.
I like that.
It's going to go on.
Oh, okay.
And things are not going to get easier.
Okay.
Because I didn't know anything about computers. Now
they're all over the place.
They have it in their palm.
That's right. Okay.
So things are going to get hectier, more hectic.
Okay.
So the point I'm afraid of more is what is now coming known as the latchkey children.
Okay.
They leave the front door key with the nearest storekeeper.
Okay.
When you reach home, go and pick the key.
Yeah.
So who is teaching them?
Okay.
The house help, the school teacher, the Sunday school teacher, and the parents who and the telenovelas. They are the people
and the parents are failing their responsibility because they're too busy. I'm afraid we can't continue. Our time, we have overlived our welcome. So, but thank you very much. Our August guest, Reverend Papani August, is an experienced family life counselor, and as well Mrs. Cynthia Esibre Annan, also an experienced family life counselor and a headmistress of Wesley Girls High School in Accra. Once again, thank you for taking the time to be here tonight. Thank you for sharing your insights and wonderful thoughts with our audience. God bless you. God bless you. Okay.
For the good work you are doing.
We thank God. All right. So on behalf of my able producers, Mrs. Michael and I, and